Here to show us how it's done, Jacob Martin, greenhouse manager at Mercer Botanic Gardens. Welcome, Jacob. It's great to see you.
Thanks for having me back. Before we start, I had a question how your pepper was doing that we did last time we planted.
Dude, I have been watering it like crazy, and it's grown.
You planted a pepper?
Well, it was already planted. I just watered it. But there are 4 peppers on there.
Yes, they should be huge, and they'll be great all summer long.
It's growing. Now, do I need to prune them, though?
Let them turn red. The more color it gets, the hotter the pepper will get. So just give it some time, and you'll be all right.
The hotter the pepper when it's red. Oh, gosh. Okay,
I've never pruned anything, so
nor
I'm
have I.
a full-on beginner.
So I'm going to show y'all today it's a great time of year to prune your annuals, your perennials, and your tropicals, and I brought a few examples here for you guys. I have different types of shrubs in different colors. I'm going to let y'all pick one, whatever one calls your name, and I'll teach y'all how to cut it back properly for good shape and then propagate it. We're going to create new little plants so you can give your friends and give your mom if you ever want.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Okay, and let me, sorry to jump in, Jacob, but as the buds are dying, should we be pruning continually?
For the summer, if the bud's dead, you should always deadhead.
Deadhead.
And I'll show you some of the ones today that after there's an old flower spike, we'll cut it off.
Perfect.
So the actual act of pruning means you're doing what?
You're shaping it. You're just cutting it back.
Okay.
Plants like haircuts just like people do.
Okay.
But there's also a limit as well. So you don't want to cut more than a third of the plant off.
Okay.
So if I cut a third of y'all's hair off, you'd be a little upset or stressed out as well.
I think I have 2 left gloves. It's okay. It's all going to work out.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we begin, Jacob?
So we have a couple different types of shrubs here. We have this little purple waffle plant. We have 2 different color porter weeds. We have red or coral, and then we have a nice acalypha or copper plant or a Persian shield. Whatever one calls your name, guys, you pick it, and I'll show you how to properly shape it and bring it to a good height and make little cuttings of it.
Okay.
Oh, my gosh.
I love this color right. Is this the coral you said?
That's the red.
The red. This is the what? This is calling my name.
Okay, and can I go for the big one?
Yes, you can. It needs the haircut.
You should definitely go for the big one.
So whenever we look at the plant, our first goal is to find a canopy or bring it back to a nice height. Derek's is huge and definitely needs some proper shaping. But yours,
$1.
yours is much better and it'll be easier to maintain. So a general rule of thumb I always teach people is use your hand as a good example. So your hand is a good size of the way you're cutting or how much you should cut off is.
Okay.
So your hand will be about here, and you'll pick a couple pieces that look like they're growing out and in an odd direction. That's what we're going to shape back and cut back. So if you see one that's kind of poking off a little too far, that's what we'll cut out because it's going to break off, whether by wind, damage, squirrels, your neighbor, sun, you name it.
Okay. And same goes for this larger plant?
Yeah, and so you always cut something back to about a node. You see, a node is where a new leaf will come out at, and a good rule of thumb is to usually get about 3 nodes, one at the bottom, and you have another one at the top.
But I would cut right above where those leaves are coming, right below it. So I can cut right there?
Yep, go
right
for
below where the leaf is?
Yep.
Oh, man, but I feel like I would be ruining the plant.
It's okay. It's summer, so things grow really, really fast. And the next one you'll do, try this one that's kind of growing really out of the way and it's poking someone in the face.
Just take it completely off?
Yep, go for it. Because you see how there's a little baby one coming up for the side? We're going to encourage to let it grow up.
That's not too heavy for this to...
No, so what he's actually what he's going to do is he's going to take it back a little more. So he's creating a canopy. So we got it down here. He needs to bring back these 2 guys a little lower.
Okay, so where would I go here? Like right in there?
Yeah, keep the height. Yep, you're good.
Keep the height? Okay.
What if you wanted to keep the flower part of the plant?
It's going to make, you could stick it in a glass of water and keep it on your patio or your, see how we got not a lot of nice leaves pushing out right there? Go ahead and clip it right about there.
Right above it?
Yep.
So we want to keep that new growth, right?
And you see how it looks nicer and more controlled and managed, and it'll flush out much better.
It does look good, but for some people, I mean, now it looks like I've left these little stubs
you're supposed
on
to
top.
cut that little guy.
So cut this guy off as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
The plant will naturally absorb it, or you can cut it off and
right
make
above
it
those
cleaner.
leaves. Okay, Lauren.
How many times are you supposed to be watering your plants?
At least twice a week.
Twice a week?
It's summer in Houston and 100% humidity and 100 degrees.
Okay.
Yeah, it gets hot.
It gets brutal. So
this is a sharp tool, and I don't know how to use it.
Don't be scared.
But I don't even know how to open it. Okay. Okay.
It's okay.
So you're gonna do the same thing. You see how we got all these pretty little, how it's flushing out nice and neat down here. So you'll take it back about a good even height.
So like about right here? Okay.
Go a little lower.
So this one, right about here?
Yep.
Okay. All right.
See how it branched out nice and
Yeah,
pretty?
yeah.
That's kind of your goal. So you can do the same thing on the other sides.
Okay. All right.
It's all about creating canopies and making things look nice and even.
Okay.
Things are going to flush back. So
Do I want to do that with these two as well?
it's up to you. If you're happy with the shape, you can leave it like that, or you can take them all back down the same.
I feel like it would need to all be done just because I am a little bit OCD.
And Jacob, while Lauren is working on this, let's talk a little bit about fertilizer. I know you mentioned during the summer it's hot. We should be watering a couple times per week. Should we fertilize more during the summer or try to avoid that? Because some people can burn up their plants if they over-fertilize, right?
You're definitely fertilizing at least once a month, but the biggest mistake most people make is they fertilize the soil when it's dry. So you should always either fertilize after a rain, or you can water the plant first before you add your fertilizer.
Okay.
That's the biggest mistake most people make.
So make sure that that plant is wet and the soil is wet before adding that fertilizer.
Is there too much sun for your plant to be in?
Depending on the plant, yeah. There's some plants that love shade, and if you put them in too much sun, they'll fry. Like we have a really pretty little begonia up there, and if you put it in the sun, it can toast pretty hard. Or the little goldfish plant here, if you put it in a little too much sun. You notice how it's got a little neat goldfish flower?
Okay.
It can fry. So you guys got your cuttings right. You got your plants at a good height. Now I'm going to show you all how to propagate them, and from these little pieces, you can make a whole new plant.
Okay.
Oh, you're kidding. The ones
So
we just cut off.
Yep.
Let's move these out of the way.
Okay.
All right.
Good job, Lauren.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Y'all's little plant you brought, the porterweed, hummingbirds go crazy over it. That's the big thing about these little plants that you got.
Okay.
So now that you got a nice little piece here, you'll use your hand, like you see how it fits about my hand pretty well like that. You'll take it and you'll strip off the leaves.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So you want to take the leaves off?
Yep, some of them, but I leave a couple, right?
Okay.
So you can take a couple more.
Okay. And should I be cutting this down?
You can
even more,
if
Jacob?
you don't have finesse. You definitely should cut it down.
I do
and
not
then
have
you're gonna
finesse.
nip off the little flower head.
Okay. Just the very top?
Yep. Oh no, there you go.
Where, here?
Here you go.
Okay. Okay.
Perfect. And so you see how we got a little node there? You're gonna cut right below it, right at the little node, because that's what you want to dip in a little. Cut your flower off.
Cut my flower off?
Cut your flower off.
This is a depressing segment.
All right, and then you'll cut it right there, right at the little node. You see it, guys?
Give mine a little
At the little,
node.
Yeah, yours is perfect.
Above it?
Yours is
oh,
perfect.
Mine is
Yours is perfect already.
Okay, Lauren, sorry, I took your
Cut
clippers.
the
So you'll
node.
dip yours in your little powder.
What's the powder?
It's
Okay.
rooting hormone.
Okay.
And then I already made little holes for you guys, and you'll poke it in the little hole nice and gently,
Okay.
and then you'll pack it down nice and firm. You don't want it to move around a lot. That's the
Okay.
trick.
You want it to be sturdy.
It doesn't want to flop around. If it makes little baby roots, as soon as it gets moved around, it can break those little tender roots.
Okay.
And she's got her
Oh,
own.
yeah, sorry, you were waiting for that.
It's okay.
She's got her own pot, so you guys
Propagating
don't
powder.
mix up.
Okay. Okay. So just right in there.
That is so cool that you
And
can
then-
propagate from your existing plants and make these new little buds.
So something similar to this could be growing back out of there?
It will grow the exact same plant.
Awesome.
So technically, it's a clone. See how it moves around a lot? We got to pack that way better.
Okay.
And you guys have a symposium coming up in case you want to learn all things horticulture, right?
Yep, I'm one of the speakers at it, and I can teach y'all all about it. And we have learned about lots of new trees and plants we've been trialing in Houston. It's coming up next month, and they'll learn about all the pretty plumerias, how to propagate them, all the gorgeous gingers, and you'll learn about all sorts of different trees and shrubs that we have here on the table. Have y'all ever smelt a plumeria before?
Yeah, in
I have
Hawaii.
not.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
These
Most
are all
people
over
forget how
Hawaii.
fragrant they are.
They're
Oh,
so beautiful.
man.
It's
That's
similar
such a
to a
beautiful
jasmine
flower.
smell. Jacob Martin, thank you so much for stopping by. Mercer Botanic Gardens, don't forget about that symposium. And you can always visit the Scene on Houston Life section of our website, houstonlife.tv, if you would like to learn more. That was fun.